Hey guys, welcome back to another Sims 4 build. Today we're going to do something kind of fun, something most of you probably won't even recognize, at least I hope not. And I'm going to build my old childhood home. I grew up in this house from ages like birth to 10 years old, and so this is going to be like for the most part, a style of house from the 90s to the very early 2000s. I did my very best to keep with that, like with the carpet color, the wallpaper, some of the furniture, but obviously with The Sims, you can't, get it exactly right. I lived in a split level house. It had these four big white columns on the front that we would decorate with the wreaths for Christmas. Oh, that was the best. Now, unfortunately, with Sims, you cannot do a split level house. It won't work. So I had to adapt as best I could. So, like, the downstairs is what the bottom part of my house looked like, and the upstairs is what the top part looked like. But because I couldn't do split level, I couldn't get the layout exactly perfect, but none of you lived with me, so you won't know that it's wrong. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I actually lived in that big bedroom upstairs. And this was a really big house. My grandparents lived there, my dad and my aunt lived there. So, it was a full house, but it was really nice. I never felt crowded or anything. What am I doing? Oh, and we had this half wall, which is what you see me building now. And it was cinder blocks and brick. Obviously, they don't have cinder blocks in here, so I just did a half wall. And I painted it with white concrete, I think, to give it the cinder block look. And that divided our dining room from our living room. Now, this has been a long time since I lived there, 14 years. So I can't remember everything perfectly, but I know that we had black tile in the kitchen. Actually, it could have been linoleum. Blue tile or blue carpet downstairs. It was this watercolory kind of blue. So that's what I put for the downstairs carpet. And I think my grandparents had like a green carpet in their room. And upstairs was pink carpet. So that's what you see me putting up there now. And my room also had pink carpet. And the room across the hall was, it could have been blue, could have been green. I just picked like a blue-green color. The bathroom had yellow tile, I believe. It was like a yellow and purple theme. So I did my best to find a yellowish tile, and I'm trying to decide on windows, like what I could remember the windows being. And as I'm doing this, like I had an epiphany, and then I was like, oh, that's what they looked like. And because it was split level, they obviously didn't look exactly like that. But like I said, I had to work with what I had, and what this game would allow me to build. In my actual house, our kitchen windows, which you're going to see in the front, were quite small, and they actually only came up to like right on the porch, so you'd only see people's feet walking by. That was it. Which, really didn't allow for a lot of natural light, but it was fine. And there's the back door. Now, in my house, because it was split level, you would walk out the back door and walk up steps into my backyard. Couldn't do that here, so I just pretty much made you walk directly outside. Now, my old house had the most beautiful watercolor pastel-y wallpaper. They didn't have that, so I got some patterned, very lightly patterned wallpaper, and I just put it up there. It actually turned out pretty similar to what I grew up with. We had an all white siding house, so our house was pretty much just white. Like we had the white columns, white siding, white door, all that. Interesting fact though, since we have moved out, people have remodeled it to a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom. So that's probably pretty nice inside now. And I know we had wood paneling downstairs. Couldn't tell you exactly where. That might be the wrong spot, but it still looks good. And as I was building this house, the more it came together, the more I was like, yeah, that really looks exactly like my old house. And I couldn't remember what color the kitchen walls were, so I just picked white. Easy to go. Like, it's neutral. Now, their bathroom in the master bedroom was yellow. It was like a yellow and green tile. So what am I doing? I'm just like hanging out, trying to find a yellow tile or something. And I painted their room brown, which I'm pretty sure it was. Like brown and green themed, which I'm guessing was probably pretty common back then. And we had like a huge patio. It had a roof over it, but I didn't want to do that. And we had a huge privacy fence. The yards in my neighborhood were actually all really big. Both neighbors on either side of me had in-ground pools. We were not one of the fortunate ones to have in-ground pools. I did put one in the build, but I made it small because we did have an above-ground pool. They don't have those in The Sims, but I still wanted it to have that pool, so I just worked with what I had. And, I mean, I think it turned out nice. It definitely didn't look, overly extravagant or anything. And I put that stone around the edge to kind of mimic, like, that siding type of material that's on the edge of above-ground pools. So now I am working on, like, the furnishing, and the very first thing I did was light because it was so dang dark. And I know that there's no windows on the top floor front part, but I fixed that. I don't know why it took me so long, but... And most of the houses in my neighborhood were actually split level. They were all shaped exactly like this, with just varying like styles, colors, furnishing, stuff like that. But most of them in the neighborhood were like this. And I lived in Florida at the time, and I think this is really common in Florida. And I think we actually had a bigger table than I put in there, but I couldn't remember. So I went with like a nice white table. And we did have our computer there. On that half wall, we had built a desk like into the half wall. And that's where I just started my love for computer games. I played Lego Island and Worms on there all the time. Oh, I loved it. I also remember putting several things inside that half wall because it was cinder block. There was a way you could like stuff inside. Oh, I had a bad habit of doing that. And I just put two blue chairs in the back of the room back there, and a little TV and a couch. I know that TV looks just stupidly small, but like I said, I'm trying my best to give it that 90s look. We did have a fish tank, and we had angelfish in there. I remember that. Now, where those chairs and that bookcase are was actually our laundry room. The Sims, unfortunately, still doesn't have laundry. That drives me nuts. Like, that would be something that would be just so incredibly fun to have laundry. Like, your Sim has to do laundry or they'll wear their dirty clothes, and their hygiene will go down. Like, that should be like a chore or like something that needs to be done. So now I'm doing my grandparents' room. They had a waterbed. Sims doesn't have waterbeds. So I picked something random that looks kind of old. They didn't have a whole lot in their room: a bed, a TV, a dresser, and it wasn't shaped exactly like this, but with the inability to do the split level, I adapted. And they had a yellow and green bathroom, like I said before, but they had a really nice, like, double wall shower. Like, it would have taken up the entire wall space over there. Sims doesn't have that, so I just did a single stall, but I did make it a yellow tile, and I did my best to do yellow and green all around to fit with that theme. Now, they had a cabinet with a TV in it. It was a pretty big TV, too. We actually had TVs in every room of the house, which I think is probably pretty uncommon for back then. But my grandfather was retired Air Force, so they lived nicely. And so now I'm going to work on the kitchen. In the actual house, because it was split level, it was a square kitchen where the cabinets went all the way around either side of the kitchen, and like the stove and the fridge were exactly across from each other, and the sink was in the middle. I couldn't do that because I didn't want to just have cabinets coming in the middle of the room, so I just kind of half cut off the kitchen a little bit. Sorry, it's really late here. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. The sink was in front of the window, though, which was nice, because Our cats loved to sit in the sink and drink the water and look out the window. Now we had that beautiful old school fridge that was like yellow and black, but it did have the water and ice dispenser in it, so that was pretty nice. And I know that those cabinets are super modern. They came with the like spa day pack, but they were the closest color I could find to that very old oaky cabinets that used to be really popular back then. So that's what I chose. And we had like a dark yellowish brown countertop. That was beautiful. And I did put a bread box because I'm pretty sure we had one of those. So now I'm going upstairs, and this was a very big room upstairs. It was a piano room and a video game room. So right now you see me putting in the piano and a chair, and my grandparents had got this beautiful wicker furniture from the Philippines. They don't have wicker, so I just pretty much picked a chair that looked a little bit older, and couches that could look a little bit worn. And we had a Papasan chair as well, but I didn't put that in here. And this is where I played my Super Nintendo. I would play Mario and Jurassic Park and Power Rangers and all that stuff up here. And we had this whole wall of cabinets and counters. And they had pictures on there. They had all of our photo albums in there. I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff. So I put a few counters in there, and I just cluttered them up with books and pictures and pens and pencils and stuff like that to give me some sort of that look. And in the other part of that room, I had the piano, and it's a very long chandelier, and clearly that's not exactly what we had, but we had this one that was made out of like seashells, and it was very long, hugged from the ceiling, beautiful. I'm pretty sure they also got it from the Philippines. So now I'm building my room. I had a very pink room. I had a big old double bed, and I definitely had a octagon-shaped nightstand that my TV was on, and I had so many toys. I was the baby. Like, I was 13 years younger than the youngest child of the family, so I got pretty spoiled. So I had just a whole bunch of toys, which you're going to see me, like, putting all over the room. A dollhouse, Barbies, kitty cat, doctor. I was also a messy child, so I put a lot of clutter and dirty clothes in there. And across the hall was what used to be my dad's room and then turned into my aunt's room when he moved out. And then after that, after she went to college, it was a guest room. Oh, no, I'm doing the bathroom. Okay, JK. So that's the purple bathroom. No one ever actually took a shower in there because the bathtub leaked. And so we all just took a shower downstairs. And it was purple and yellow, and the bathtub definitely didn't have a curtain like that, but I like that one better. So, and you add the hamper and the like bathroom cabinet. Now, to this day, I could not tell you what that spare bedroom looked like, so this was completely just, I was like, well, it'll just function as a spare bedroom, a bed, a plant, dresser, TV. Good enough for me. So I was like, oh, I don't have any curtains, and I couldn't find any I liked. Didn't really feel like looking that hard, so I didn't end up putting anything up there. I do add a few things to the walls just to give it some sort of livelihood, just to make it at least look like people live there. I don't remember what we even had on our walls. Now, our backyard was pretty nice. There was a lot of space. Between the two trees back there where you're going to see me put the monkey bars, I had a swing, which I don't know why they got rid of the swings in The Sims 4, because, I feel like that was perfect, but whatever. So I had a swing back there instead of monkey bars, and we did have some plants that we had potted. And over by our gate, there was a lot of grass and plants and trees because no one ever came in there. No one used the gate for some reason. So I'm just adding some of that, adding some trees. I don't remember if there were trees, but I figure a yard needs trees. So that's pretty much the yard. We didn't have a lot in there, but yeah, this is the house. I'm swinging around for you to see it. There's my room, the living room upstairs, piano room, bathroom and guest room. Downstairs to like the kitchen dining room. Again, sort of modern, but I did add it to the gallery, so you guys can go look it up, download it. It's called Hudson Drive. My gallery name is Christian Eichhorst. Almost my name, just without the T at the end. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, guys.